Thank you for listening to Awaz Community Radio. We are broadcasting from Manchester Creative and Media Academy, and we're all about the coffee and cake today because it's the Macmillan Coffee Morning. So how did it all begin? The first ever coffee morning happened way back in 1990. It was a rather small affair with a simple idea. Guests would gather over coffee and donate the cost of their cuppa to Macmillan. It was so effective they did it again the next year, only this time nationally. Since then, Coffee Morning has raised over £138 million for Macmillan. Thank you for listening to Awaz Community Radio, and we're speaking to a teacher who has been helping to organise the Macmillan Coffee Morning at MCMA. Mr. Moore, thank you very much for coming over to speak to us.
Thank you very much for inviting me on your show.
And can I ask, how did this whole coffee morning happen? Was it your idea?
Well, the Academy, we're on a journey with Fairtrade, and we've recently joined the Cooperative Trust. And their values are about ethics and fair trade and social justice. And we have what's called a fair trade steering group in this academy, made up of about 10 learners, and they're the ones who really pushed this event for fair trade. So Macmillan Coffee Morning is a very, very good charity to support, and they came up with the idea, let's combine it with fair trade and have a fair trade Macmillan Coffee Morning. And that then grew into taking in elements of the Great British Bake Off, and the staff this morning have been baking cakes for the event, and they'll be having a competition to see which cake is the best, and the principal and vice principal will select the cake which is represents the highest standards and ethics and of the categories that the staff have entered the bake-off for.
I do wish I'd been invited to the judging panel. I'm all about testing cakes. That wouldn't have been a bad thing for me. I'd been happy to do that. Should you ever need the services of the radio station for that purpose, let us know. But the cakes look fantastic, they really do. And I love the way they've been named as well by the different members of staff. I think one is it Best Behaved Buns?
That's right, yeah. And the head of behaviour prepared those last night, called Mr. Howshaw.
Oh, that's fantastic. I think that perhaps needs, a prize of its own, how well that was named. And I'm so pleased to hear that this is clearly being student-driven, student-motivated. And how does the school feel about promoting this to children in the community?
Well, obviously most schools are all about raising standards, preparing young people, equipping them for the future. And this academy, we're very big on future leaders, giving young people responsibility in a safe and secure environment where they can acquire the skills, for later on in life by practicing them, by organising events for the community on a regular basis. And this is just one activity that the young people get to organise. There's other activities during Fairtrade Fortnight where we put on 2 weeks of community events and partnerships, in a local area. So we go into Tesco, local school, other local primary schools, we go into care homes, and we have competitions. We have moving evenings where we invite the community in, and we're very big on democracy. So basically all the major world days like Democracy Day, International Water Day, Freedom Day, we usually recognise that with some type of event that's been organised by the young people within the academy.
Fantastic. And can I just say, I think it's a really great idea to have something like the coffee morning happening in a school. I'm sure it does happen in many schools, but it's not something I think is well known. I'm aware of coffee mornings happening across the country in community groups, in community centres, in people's homes, but it's not, I don't think, as common across schools.
No, and the way we've marketed this event, every parent and carer who has a mobile telephone, we've sent them out a text message. We've sent out a personal invitation to parents and carers, and we've also made telephone calls where appropriate, to landlines, informing parents of, the event. We've also held assemblies this week, that helped to raise awareness of Macmillan Coffee Morning and the work that the Macmillan nurses do across the student body. So then that way they're aware why we're doing that, and then they can go into the community and back home and inform people and invite them to come into the academy this morning. And the young people in this academy will get the opportunity to take part at break and lunchtime. So we're replicating this in the young people's areas, in the break areas. We call it the winter gardens. So there'll be cake and coffee, hot chocolate, available for the young people.
Yes, I think we should reserve the coffee for the adults, perhaps. Don't want to overly hyper children everywhere. But that sounds great. Thank you very much, Mr. Moore, for helping to organise this, helping to facilitate this, and thank you very much for letting us be a part of your morning. It's
young people that should really get all the credit, and that's why we're all here at the end of the day within an academy. So thank you very much for having me.
Thanks very much. Thank you for tuning in to Owa's Community Radio with your host Saira, and I have a fellow parent here, Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hiya.
Thank you so much for coming over to chat to us. I've managed to drag you away from the cakes, which look beautiful. So, Linda, can I ask? I'm aware that you have a child already at the school, so you've come over. Can you tell us your own story about cancer?
My father was diagnosed with cancer. He had cancer twice. He had bowel cancer, which he did survive from. But then he unfortunately got lung cancer, which did kill him about 8 years ago. He wasn't that poorly. He had the operation, and he wasn't that poorly until near the very end, which we was pleased about. We never had any dealings with Macmillan at the time, but then when he did die, instead of donating flowers to the funeral and what, we did ask people for donations, and we sent it to Macmillan, and they did send us a lovely letter thanking us for the donations and what it meant to him, and it was really nice.
That's lovely. Thank you. And do you feel coffee mornings are very important?
Oh, yeah. Well, the reason I've come really today is because when your kids are smaller, you do have friends that you see at school and they organise coffee mornings, but when the children are at high school, you don't really have that parent thing, so you're not really involved in coffee mornings and what have you. So when I got the text off the school, I just came over.
That's fantastic. It's great, isn't it, to see schools doing these kind of things, linking with these charities. Yeah. And I think it's very educational. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. When my dad died, my children were smaller, so they didn't really realise what cancer was so much. But obviously, it is good to make children aware of cancer.
It is, yes. Thank you so much, Linda, for coming
over.
No
worries.
I'll let you get back to your coffee and cake.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
You're listening to Owa's Community Radio with your host Saira, and I have one of the student volunteers here. Hi, Kalsoom.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming over to chat to us.
It's okay.
And that table looks amazing.
Yeah.
Did you bake everything yourself?
It was given to us by the teachers, so they offered to bake stuff. Some of them bought, some cheekily bought. Most of them have been baked.
I was just wondering if you were trying to pass off all the cakes as your own, homemade.
No.
So, what do you think of this whole, coffee morning today? How are you finding it?
I find it good. It's a good way to give back to the community that's given us their students willingly, and they help us a lot with fundraising for Macmillan. And it's just nice to get to know each other, calm, not a lot of pressure.
It is, isn't it? It's a very nice atmosphere you've got going on. And how has it been organising the coffee morning? Do you like getting involved with things like this?
Yeah, I like getting along with people and leadership and stuff. It all comes to hand when getting to know each other. We come closer when organising stuff like this.
Great. I mean, that's another benefit of organising coffee morning, I guess, in a school. It gives you students a chance to, exercise the different skills, develop new skills. And it looks like a great success. I can see lots of parents here. Yeah. So, without students like yourself, Kalsoom, there couldn't be a coffee morning. So thank you and well done.
No, thank you for offering to give me an interview.
No problem. All right, I'll let you get back to volunteering now. Thank you. to Awaz Community Radio, broadcasting from the Macmillan Coffee Morning at Manchester Creative and Media Academy. And the next person I'm speaking to is a teacher. Hello, Hayat. How are you?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming over.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah.
And I believe you're volunteering today.
Yes, I'm here to help with the morning. It's a personal thing as well, actually, helping for to raise funds for this kind of events.
Yes, and I believe you were saying to me before we came on the radio, you mentioned that your family had been affected by cancer.
Yes, I had an uncle who died with the cancer, and it was very, very sad to see him go away because of this illness. Yeah.
So how important do you think coffee mornings are to trying to beat cancer?
I think it is very important actually to support this kind of events, to raise funds, actually to help research, find some solution for this illness and actually beat cancer. I think this is happening and touching a lot of families, and there are a lot of sad stories that are caused by cancer, and I think it's very, very important to support this kind of events.
Thank you very much for those words, and I will let you get back to volunteering and hopefully a slice of cake.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Awaz Community Radio with your host Saira, and we have the head of Manchester Creative and Media Academy. Thank you for coming over to chat to us, Miss Smith.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
And can I ask, Manchester Creative Media Academy is hosting this coffee morning and it seems to be going really well. And can I ask, how did the school get involved?
So we've been involved in the coffee morning for quite a few years now. We think it's really important to be involved in a variety of activities, especially those which enable both the community to get together, such as this event, but also that raise money for a really good cause. And we've been able, through the coffee morning, to bring together, I suppose, three things that are really important to us. The first is that we can raise money for a really good cause. The second is the community, and we're really keen on getting our parents, carers and local community into the school. And the third is to promote Fairtrade, which we are a Fair Achiever school award. We hold that award, so that, again, that's really important.
That's fantastic, and I love the way you're tying in Fairtrade with Macmillan Cancer Coffee Morning.
Yes. So we've asked the staff obviously to bake the cakes, and to, when they've baked those cakes, or they might have faked them, as it's called, isn't it, to make sure that they've got some kind of Fairtrade ingredients in there, again, just to promote that. And you'll notice that the coffee that we're serving, we're part of the Cooperative Academies Trust, sponsored by the Co-op, so we're using their Fairtrade produce as well this morning, just to sort of raise the profile of who we are and where we stand in the community and what we stand for.
And how important do you think events like this are for young students?
Really important. Had a variety of events that our students have been involved in, and it is really important to enable students to put them in different contexts and be able to allow them to gain the confidence to be able to speak to people who they don't know, enable them to give them the opportunity to bring their families in and introduce their families to the school and the community. But it is really important to be able to give them, I think, that confidence in different situations. And they want to show off their school. They want to talk about how proud they are to be part of this community. Sometimes young people get a bad press, but they don't deserve that. They've got a lot to celebrate and a lot to give. And they can speak very confidently about the initiatives that they're involved in here, and hopefully that then spread to the wider community.
That's fantastic. Well, I think we'll get back to our cup of coffee and have a slice of cake as well.
Certainly.
And we'll feel even better doing it because it's going to charity.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. You're listening to Awaz Community Radio, and I'm talking to a grandparent who I mistook for a parent. Jeff, I thought you were a parent, not a grandparent.
Thank you very much.
What do you moisturise with?
Just ordinary water, really.
That's the secret to your youthful looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jeff, thank you so much for coming to chat to us on the radio.
Fine.
And I believe you're here because you have grandchildren at Manchester Creative and Media Academy.
I have 2 children here, yeah.
And
Grandchildren, sorry. Grandchildren.
and you're here with your wife, and
Yeah.
you're having a cup of coffee and a slice of cake. And what do you think of this coffee morning? How important do you think it is?
I think it's very important. I think it's very important, especially for the children who are growing up at the academy. I would think if we delve into it, there's probably quite a few of them who've been touched by cancer, very sadly. And the Macmillan nurses do a fantastic job, we know that. Me personally, I lost my father to leukemia some years ago, mine, but, you know, it's still a cancer, it needs to be sorted out, and we need more sponsors and more coffee mornings. My wife lost her father to cancer some years ago. The Macmillan nurses did come to see him on several occasions, and they were really, really good, and they were a big comfort to himself and the family as well.
And that's important, isn't it? It's obviously we want to find the cure to cancer, but
Yeah.
until that happens, we need to find ways to make the lives of people suffering from cancer and their families more comfortable.
Yeah, of course, yeah. All you can do really, I suppose, is be there for them as your own family, and like I say, try and raise as much as we can, you know, for the Macmillan nurses, you know, who do a very difficult job, and sometimes I suppose they can go a little bit unappreciated. I don't know, but we appreciated them a hell of a lot.
And you know what? You're showing your appreciation today by just by having your coffee and cake.
We're coming up here, and you know, like I say, it's a lovely big place. Everyone up here has been very, very polite to us. The teachers, the staff, the children, even. You know, the children are very considerate. They're looking after everybody very, very well, and we will be giving a donation. Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. And which cakes are taking, you know, your fancy?
Well, I particularly haven't had a cake because I'm diabetic.
Oh, right,
But
okay.
my wife's had some cake, and she said it's all very lovely.
I'm sure she's taking the hit for you. She's taking it on your behalf.
Yeah, I was watching her eat it, and it looked lovely.
Oh, now that's true love. Thank you so much, Jeff, for coming
Thank you.
over to chat to us, and we really appreciate you sharing your personal story with us as well.
Yeah.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to coming back.
Thank you.
Nice speaking to you.
Thank you for listening to A Wales Community Radio with your host Saira. It's been fantastic chatting to the staff, the parents and the volunteers at Manchester Creative and Media Academy at the Macmillan Coffee Morning. It was a great spread, the cakes were wonderful, the chat was great too, and I believe that we've raised lots of money for Macmillan Cancer, and that's of course the main thing. Thank you all for listening. Don't forget to give us your feedback. We're on Facebook and Twitter, and give us a call. You can call us on 0161 839 9817. Look forward to hearing from you, and for now we'll play you out some Cake by the Ocean.